Hello, athletes and fans of bodybuilding. I'm Lenda Murray, 8 times Ms. Olympia, and you are watching Olympia TV.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for joining our conversation. My host, Wendy Fortino, IFBB Pro Figure. And yeah, you guys remember last week my intro. And Camile Periat, IFBB Pro Bikini and NPC and IFBB Pro Judge.
Yes.
All right. We have the best conversation coming this today, guys. Our guest, she's qualified for the Olympia 3 times. But what's most interesting is that she turned pro in figure. She was a successful IFBB figure pro. She also competed in women's physique in the IFBB, and recently, hot off of the New York Pro win, she's qualified and now competing in women's bodybuilding. Guys, welcome Ashley Jones. Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
It's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. So you're at the Junior Nationals working with some athletes that are competing in figure.
Yes, absolutely. So I have my very own team Refined Fitness, and about 30 athletes of mine, and 2 of my girls right now are competing in figure. So it's going to be super amazing to see what they're able to do tomorrow. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Wow.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
thank you for taking time to be with us tonight. I know you're a busy coach right now.
Yes, but I love it. I had to talk to my girls, okay?
Wow. Well, you've been on that stage. You've been competing since, I know you turned pro.
Yes.
In 2018, you won the Nationals.
Yes.
In figure.
Yes. Class A, Team Shorties over here. So, yes.
So we have a pic of you from your win. There you are to the left. Your win at the NPC Nationals.
Yes.
Where you turned pro. And there you are on the right, where you just won the New York Pro, and you beat some heavy hitters in women's bodybuilding.
Even saying that, hearing that is so surreal. I'm still pinching myself to this day. Like, did it happen about a month ago? And I'm like, yeah, you did it. So now it's time to focus on the next target, which is the Rising Phoenix, which I've heard amazing things about. And I'm just super excited to be gracing that stage with some very competitive competition, obviously. And I think it's going to be a nice sneak peek to what's to come at this year's Olympia. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Absolutely. Yeah, the Rising Phoenix. I mean, first of all, heavy hitters. You have Ms. Olympia, Andrea Shaw.
Yes.
This was your routine from the New York Pro that you just did, okay? And I have to say, when I watch you pose, okay, it is like next level. It's like an art. You're a dancer, you're a gymnast. Can we we're gonna go back and we're gonna go over your history and everything like that. But let's go over your posing, because I know that a lot of people come to you for posing. This is what you are the master at. So tell us about your background and what brought you to this level of posing.
Yes. So as you mentioned, I have a background in dance and gymnastics as well. So one thing that I wanted to do, especially when bumping up to women's physique, my coach at the time was like, hey, you get a little bit more stage time. And I was like, oh, okay, what does that mean? And he was like, you get a routine. And I was like, say less, count me in, I'm good. So when I started to do a lot of the research with the routines and seeing what they, presented on stage, I was like, okay, I'm always wanting to take risks. I'm always wanting to do something different, to say, I remember Ashley did that. I remember so-and-so did that. So I feel like doing that signature split, that back split into the back of a bicep, I do feel like that is becoming something that people are expecting me to do, some sort of a split, showing my athleticism, my gymnastics background, doing that heel stretch that you just saw that I did. So I just want to change the narrative, especially with women's bodybuilding, keeping it feminine and showing women and showing others, just our entire audience, that we can keep it feminine. We can have that flexibility and still create that muscle that the criteria asks for, and still be so beautiful. So just using what I did in the past for my gymnastics routines and carrying that over into my obviously my bodybuilding routines, I think that has been a lot of the benefit for me to get the shine that I've gotten so far, and I hope to continue that by bringing some new stuff to the stage.
Yeah, I remember this move that you, and I'm positive as you. This is when you first came to my attention. I was sitting in the audience, and I'm pretty sure you were on the floor, and you did this 360, like what you guys do when you're on the balance beam,
a wolf turn
in one position, and you did a complete 360 and came back in a pose, and I was like, oh
yeah,
that's a balance beam move.
Yes, I actually got that from Simone Biles, so that is not girl started to do that on the balance beam because Simone does 3 turns like that on the balance beam. I was like, I'm doing that on the floor. Here we go. So there it is. And it worked perfectly going into a transition. And I was just like, okay, I can keep this within my routine as well. So again, just using different choreography that I see even on YouTube or just from Simone or whoever, and trying to make that a little bit more relatable to bodybuilding. And so far it's worked out. So
wow. I really want to hear the story behind you going from figure.
Yes.
And because you were successful, a successful pro. I mean, you placed as high as 3rd in pro on a pro stage in figure. Yeah. And then same with women's physique. You qualified twice for the Olympia in women's physique.
Yes.
So tell us about figure.
Yeah.
And going in.
Yeah. So with figure, let's see, like I said, got my pro card in 2018, and then 2019 was the Dallas Europa. That was my pro debut, and I got 3rd there. And I was just like, okay, things are great. Let's keep it going. Let's see if I can get that Olympia qualification. Then I did the Chicago Pro, got actually 2nd behind Ivana, and I was just like, oh my goodness, so close. So after that, obviously took some time off to grow. And then I switched coaches, and then Chicago Pro. That was probably literally one of my favorite shows. Today, I love Tim Gardner's and all of his productions. But yes, after kind of going through the figure phase, I started to see my body develop, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a new look for me. So once I switched coaches, he mentioned to me like, hey, time to put up the heels. And figure always has a special place in my heart. So I was a little hesitant. I was like, I'm not ready. And that's what he told me, but you get a little bit more stage time. Sign me up. Okay. I'm good. So after that, 2020, I switched to women's physique. And then 2021, that's when, let's see, my pro debut was at Tampa Pro. This is the Texas Pro win. That I got my Olympia qualification, my first Olympia qualification. And just even looking back at this and seeing the growth from 3 years ago, it's mind-blowing. So I'm actually talking to Freddie, the promoter of the show, and Sheila, and I said, so women's bodybuilding is not at your show. So I want to be the first women's physique and women's bodybuilding winner of your show next year. So he was like, just wait, some things are coming. So I just really love seeing the progression of being able to take time. And I think a lot of athletes, especially female athletes, need to see and understand it takes time. Let your body do what it needs to do. Listen to your body, listen to your coach, take the time off. And I promise you, your body's going to soar. So I found my new home. Women's bodybuilding is where I'm going to stay. And like I said, just looking at New York here, I'm just like, wow. Here we
Ashley,
go.
Why you competed for the Olympia twice as a women's physique competitor? I mean, looking at your pictures, like you could have easily dominated that. You didn't compete in the Olympia. So why did you completely bypass that? And now you're going into bodybuilding.
Yeah. So let's see, 2022 Olympia, my coach, Andrew Vu, he sat down with me and said, hey.
I love Andrew.
Yes. He's amazing. So
and this is your 2022 Olympia, by the way, right?
Yes. Yeah. So after this, he actually talked to the judges, and they said, hey, she's literally borderline. She could go physique, but she could also go women's bodybuilding. So that's when he came to me and was like, how are you feeling? how do you feel about women's bodybuilding? I told him, I will follow your lead. But he was like, this has to be your choice, because whatever you choose, you're going to put your all into. And I was like, okay, sky's the limit. So let's go for it. And at this point, I think there were certain times in training, I would have to hold back because my legs always wanted to grow. And obviously we know with these divisions, we have to keep it symmetrical and proportionate. So yeah, with women's bodybuilding, I don't have to hold back. I can go as hard as I need to with training and just keep doing what I want to do with my,
So were you receiving feedback from some of the shows as a women's physique competitor that you were like borderline too big?
So let's see, the 2021, let me see, what is that? The 2021 Texas Pro win, I was 124. And then when I was with VU, the 2022 Olympia, I was 147. So yeah, and so on stage. So exactly. So it's just even seeing that, and I was just like, okay, my body wants to grow, and with learning my physique and obviously learning what works best for me for cardio, and obviously fixing my metabolism at the time, which is another reason why we took 2023 off as well. Just my body continued just to soar, and here comes New York, and we did what we needed to do, and we're just going to keep that train going into Arizona.
Yeah, I was so impressed when I looked at the list, the submissions for the Rising Phoenix. And then I saw you on there, and I saw you, these were pictures of you that you took that not that you necessarily were posting on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere. And it's like they were new. And I was like, oh my God, look at her structure. Yeah. She looks great. She's perfect for bodybuilding. So that's really awesome. So you had no reservations, because people, they see women bodybuilders a certain way. And when I see an athlete and you go from figure, and then you go to women's physique, and now you're a female bodybuilder. Did you have an image in your mind of what a female bodybuilder? And so you said, no, I'm figure, or tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know Miss Lenda Murray herself, and obviously Iris Kyle. You two have been truly an example for me and have paved the way, obviously, for me to do what I do today. And just seeing what you all were able to do and keeping it feminine, I love looking at you all's physique. So obviously I want to do what I can to lead in you all's footsteps as well, but bring a little bit of me into it as well, to say for the next girls coming up, to say, I love Lenda, I love Iris, but I also love Ashley. So see if I can add a little bit of me into it, and that's why we'll keep seeing that cycle going through and keep pushing the categories the best as we can. So yeah, you two have been great inspirations for me. Great inspirations for me.
Yeah, I'm going to make this. Go ahead, Camille.
Well, I was going to say, Ashley, I don't know if you saw our episode that we did last week. We were going over all the qualifications, and we were talking about how this year's Olympia is going to look so different. And we were highlighting some of you. And Lenda was absolutely right. The bodybuilding division for the women is at a whole new level, I feel like, this year. And it's going to be amazing. There's a lot of new faces, and the quality is so good.
I think that's the joy, especially for me as an athlete who's going to be stepping on stage, is to see the hype, to see the Instagram blowing up and saying women's bodybuilding is back, because I mean everybody, all the girls are bringing it this year, especially with all the competitions thus far. I mean, people, we're gunning. Every single one of us are gunning for that number one spot, rightfully so. But this year is going to be different. This year is truly going to be different for athletes that we live by a motto that this year is going to be different. And every single time that I put someone on stage, they either won an overall this year, won their classes, whatever the case may be, because they also believe that this year is different. So believing that and understanding for me that this is a new level. This is a new level of competition for me. And just going in and believing that I'm already a champion. I can't go in scared. I can't go in and acting like I'm the underdog or the new kid on the block. I have to act like I belong.
I don't get underdog vibes from you. I do have a question though.
We loved rooting for the underdog too. So
I know.
Yes.
But you have a very dominant energy and aura about you. I can't quite explain it.
Thank
It
you.
is good. It's good. I'm
you.
curious because, you know, for me, this is how I'm relating to you because
Yeah.
for me, like as a child, as a kid, growing up, like I was somebody always who built muscle very easily. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be muscular. I don't want to be muscular. And then finally, when I embraced it, it's like, okay, like this is my body. I don't want to fight my body anymore. I don't have to fight it.
Yes.
Tell me with you, because the way that your body has transformed in such a short period of time, I feel like your body, you've been holding back for so long. What has that been like? Tell me the juice.
Yes, it's been honestly amazing. Like I said, to watch the progression from figure over the years to now women's bodybuilding. I remember literally, what was it, the 2021 prep going into Texas Pro. 4 weeks out, I had to stop training legs. I had to stop. I just kept seeing the growth. And in my check-in, my coach and I was like, something's off. And my legs just wanted to keep growing. So just seeing that and having to hold back, I'm one not to hold back. I don't want to hold back in anything that I do. I want to go 100% full-fledged, you know, with all that I have in me, and just being able to see what I was able to do when making that switch to women's physique and saying, hey, you know, to push a little more. And even just having a lot of people know I train with Jessica Reyes, and having her there next to me saying, Ash, you got more in you, got more in you. And for me to finally realize that and to be okay with growing and saying, Ash, this is what your body wants to do. Go with it. Go with the flow and see what comes of it. And I love every bit of the journey.
What about when you were like, back when you were like a gymnast and everything, did you find yourself always having to like hold back so much?
Yeah, I was honestly, I remember it literally back when I was little. I was in the basement with my mom, and she was doing some laundry, and I came down there crying because I wasn't happy with my physique. I was always the biggest, the most muscular gymnast. It was just so hard for me to accept that. And my mom was like, one day that's going to be your gift. And of course, we all know the phrase, mama's know best. And she's correct. She is correct. And just being able to see, again, mentally, that growth of not being okay with my muscular physique that God gave me, and seeing now that people are actually saying like, Ashley, this is your God-given talent. Run with it. Present that to the stage and just own it. And people will literally be like, okay, this is what it is. So that's the story I want to always portray, even through my posing, just showing the growth, starting off small and then opening it up into something big. So
yeah. I don't know how, and Camille and Wendy, you guys helped me with this and phrasing this. But when I see an athlete and you compete in figure successfully, and then you go in women's physique and you compete successfully, like when I see most women, the figure competitors, like the structures are on point. You don't usually see a figure competitor that will rise to a level where they qualify for the Olympia, or they're on a professional level, placing in the top 5 with an awkward structure. You know, they have a very balanced structure. When you go over to women's physique, you see the same type of thing. But the thing with bodybuilding, whether it's men or women, and this is where people not really understanding our sport, like we have a lot of bodybuilders, men and women, and they can have awkward structures, really long waist or weird, just weird. It's like the muscles are there. Big shoulders, big back, you know, but they don't have that X frame. So to go from figure to women's physique, and to go into bodybuilding, you see what I'm saying? And that's where it's challenging when I look at a figure competitor, a women's physique, and a woman. They have that structure, but they're like, oh, you know, when I look at women's bodybuilding, or I see it's awkward, it's rough, it's hardcore. The women there look like men, but they're women. And this is what I've been saying and what I've been waiting for is to sit in the audience at the Olympia and see 10 women on stage with that.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons that because women in figure and in women's physique with those structures, there were tons of women walking around with our structure, but we were a little bit like, I don't want to really, that's not me, you know, because in their heads, their vision or picture of what female bodybuilding is. They didn't see enough consistency of an Ashley Jones and an Andrea Shaw.
And that's the edge that she has.
Yeah.
That's the edge that you have. You know, you come from a perfect structure foundation, and you're building upon that perfect structure. And what, you know, Lenda is saying, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like, you know, with bodybuilding, you can take a structure that's not quite so perfect and build it to create something. But when you've got a perfect structure to start with, it's like,
there's a simple word for that. It's called a genetic mutant, and that's what you are.
Thank you. I'll take that. I'll definitely take that. A lot of people have mentioned to me being able to, like I said, see, like you said, Lenda, going from figure and having that already, I guess, tapered look, and being able to progress while still keeping that taper look and still keeping it feminine. They say, actually run with that, keep that, because that is what we're trying to push with this new narrative with women's bodybuilding, especially now that we're getting so much more shine. And like you said, it is our job as ambassadors of each division to show that. And I think, like you said, with Shaw, I mean, she has been a great champion of being able to present that and to show women that, hey, you can look like this. Just because you're women's bodybuilding, you do not look like a man. So I think just being able to, again, push that narrative and show them, like, hey, you can still be a beautiful woman with muscles, big ass, and still go on stage at the Olympia. So,
You know what? One more really unique thing about you is there's been many people who have gone to another division or grown into another division, but most people, when they do that, it takes them a while to continue to grow into that division and to improve and improve. You literally blew through 3 divisions within, like, what, 3 years?
What is it? I would say 29. So yeah, just about 4 years. 4 years.
That's crazy. Like, that's and you won throughout. Like, that's pretty amazing that you were able to conquer each division so quickly and get to where you're at.
I appreciate. I will have to say, like I said, having a background already in athletics, I feel like that was a firm foundation for me to already build off of, because I already had the discipline. I already knew what it took to be an athlete. This was just a different sport of being able to, you know, apply those different techniques. So bodybuilding was different for me to actually get acclimated to. But once I did, I feel like I'm a fast learner. So once I got the hang of it, especially in my figure days, I was like, let's go. Let's enjoy this ride a little bit.
Actually, okay, Lenda, maybe you'll be the one to answer this. Is there any athlete at all in our sport who has gone through 3 divisions?
I think Mela, right?
Yeah, I think Mela Ash, but I think the difference is the fact that she was successful. Like, as far as she actually did well at each level. For her to place 3rd in figure at, you said it was you placed 3rd at the European Pro or Dallas Pro, and Chicago Pro 2nd.
Yes.
So look, I mean, Chicago Pro and Dallas, that's a big show in figure.
Yeah.
And you know, I even looked at the list of women. For her to place, that's awesome, amazing. And then she qualified twice for women's physique. We see what women's physique and what they bring.
I have a question. You've been so symmetrical in every single phase. It the thing that's like unique about you, and I keep getting stumped. Like, and I want to just take the elephant out of the room here, because here's what is really stumping me about you. And I feel like we're just gonna keep buttering you up, because I don't really know where else to go with this other than the fact that your structure's been perfect, your symmetry's been perfect, your balance has been perfect in every single thing. Now, this is unique because normally we see people, you know, go to different divisions and they have missing body parts, they have things to fill in, and you've just been kind of like this, like, mini version of perfect, a little bit bigger version of perfect, bigger version of perfect. So I'm curious, what actually have you been working on, or is it just everything? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, honestly, everything. And I think the key thing is tailoring my training to what I know. I know when switching over to women's physique, I think that's when Jessica and I started training together. I knew I needed to grow my delts, and that's still a point of something that I'm training a little harder with. Still a little even more of my upper body, but knowing that, like I said, I can still tailor what I need to tailor with my training and just go 200% hard with. Like, I think that for me has been the best thing ever. Like, yes, I will train heavy when needed, but I'm not in the gym trying to be a power lifter. And I think that's where a lot of bodybuilders, especially the newcomers, I like to say, feel like they have to go heavy in order, to get the gains. And I feel at this point, showing, and I started a YouTube actually talking about this, really talking about how you don't have to go heavy. You can at certain points, but making sure your form is okay, making sure you're holding that contraction and things of the sort, training and making sure that you're doing what is best for you and tailored to you. That's what's going to help you get those gains from figure to physique, and then obviously now to women's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So how has your training really changed since you did figure to now? Are you just able to like not hold back? So like, what does that look like?
Literally not hold back has been the main thing, but I have 2 leg days. I split those up between ham and glutes, and then quad and glutes as well. And then I have 2 shoulder days as well. And then one of my shoulder days, I add in a little bit of chest. And then I also have 2 back days, one focusing on a little bit more lat focus and the other focusing a little bit more on density. So yeah. And like I said,
6 days of training.
Yes. And just really making sure like I said, we know at this level, details matter. So I can't just go into the gym and say, okay, I'm gonna do this lat movement, I'm gonna do this mid back, I'm gonna do the X. No, I need to have a strict plan. Vu will always tell me like, hey, let's go ahead and add a little bit more we already talked about the plan of action for, going into the Olympia and obviously for Arizona. So I've implemented those changes as well. And hopefully we'll be able to see those. But just being able to literally tailor what is best for me, what works for me may not work for somebody else and vice versa. But I think, like I said, just really changing and customizing my plan for me has been the game changer. Yeah.
So going from women's physique, of the 3, would you say that when you competed in women's physique, the challenges of having that rear end like tight? Because when I think of women's physique, I think about, and looking at the women now, Sarah Villegas, Natalia, they are so tight. Like most of the women in women's physique, I don't care what competition I go to.
Right.
Just that's one of the things that when I think of that division, I think of conditioning.
Absolutely.
So when you moved into women's physique, and then that's what also I always think that makes you really a threat going into women's bodybuilding with the structure, because a lot of the bodybuilders, sometimes we've gotten a little bit lazy, men and women, as far as conditioning.
Yeah.
We're like, just big. I can just be big.
Yeah, no.
So tell me about that journey of being in women's physique.
Yes.
And knowing that that's one of the things that you had to bring.
Absolutely. So being able to actually see, I feel like I was most conditioned with the 2021 Texas Pro win, and just knowing and feeling what that felt like. I was like, whew, okay. And actually that kind of led into me having to pull out that year for health reasons. So understanding, I do know, obviously, with women's physique, that is something very, very much at the top of the list. But after talking to Vu, and obviously I call it his voodoo, that man is just so detailed, and he knows every little thing that can enhance that without having to do all the extra supplements and things. And I feel like that is his magic touch of being able to learn my body and making sure that I still want to have kids one day, and he knows that. So it's just the cardio, making sure I do certain things on my cardio at certain times of the day, when I eat certain things throughout the day, or taking certain things out of my diet that could affect me. And like I said, he has mastered my metabolism. So being able to eat a lot more as well has helped with my conditioning. So it's those little things that have added up together that has been able to keep me healthy, number one. I think that has translated over into the conditioning that I have brought to the New York Pro, and what we're going to be bringing to the next few shows.
Okay.
So, I want to know more about your cardio schedule and your macronutrients and what your numbers are like.
Absolutely.
I want to look like you.
Yeah, absolutely. No gatekeeping over here. So I do 2 cardios right now a day. So fasted and obviously post training. And I start off at the Stairmaster, and then my second cardio is on the elliptical. And then for my meals, I'm on a meal plan. I prefer a meal plan. I do not want macros. I don't want to think about anything. That's why I have a coach. So right now we're checking in about every 4 days. And so he'll let me know, like, hey, let's go ahead for this particular meal. Let's add this in, or let's take this out, or reduce this protein intake, or whatever the case may be. So he will let me know every single check-in what needs to be changed, what I need to do, which I love because, like I said, I don't want to think about it. It's one less thing on my plate. So yeah, I've been on a meal plan, God, maybe 3 years, and I love it. I love it. I'm okay with eating the same thing every day. This is what we chose to do. This is our lifestyle. So yeah.
So do you respond more to like carbohydrates, to fats? Like what, like give me one meal, like how much chicken, how much fat, like what is
so
one meal?
I've learned that I respond better to fats. So what we're doing right now, we're doing 3 low, 1 high. So on my low days, it's more of protein and fats. And on my high days, it's a combination of protein, a little less protein with more carbohydrates. Mm-hmm. So that has been my go-to, especially with what we did for New York. We're tweaking some things now going into, like I said, Arizona and Olympia. But I respond better to fats. I've learned that carbs sometimes do not work best for me, which I've learned that obviously in the past as well. But especially now that I have a little bit more muscle, I'm like, okay, I see it now. So fats, let's go. So, but yeah, my fat source, I have nuts, I have salmon, I have olive oil. I'm not a big avocado girl. I am not big on that. And what else? I think that's
peanut butter.
No peanut butter. No peanut butter. I love peanut butter, but honestly, I do not want him to do it because, listen, this jar will be empty.
Girl, I bought some peanut butter yesterday. I'm like, okay. I have not opened it yet. I'm like, because it is quite horrible when you go back and it's empty.
Empty. I just bought, and listen, things are not cheap. Okay, things are not cheap anymore. So yes, I would prefer to stay away from peanut butter for now. But yeah, just sticking with my current fat sources, it's been good. It's been doing my body good. So yeah.
You're really positive, which is really good. But I have a hard kind of question to ask you because here's the thing. Okay, it sounds to me like the thing that you're doing right now is you're just not fighting your genetics. It sounds to me like you had been really holding back, and that actually was hurting your conditioning. And one thing I do know from working with a lot of people is that if somebody is fighting their genetics so hard when their body wants to build muscle, is that not only will you be a smaller version of yourself, but you're going to be a less impressive version of yourself.
Exactly.
Your muscles are not going to pop. If your body wants to be muscular and you're trying to cardio yourself down, diet yourself down, your muscle will look not impressive. It won't look full. So as soon as you were able to eat more and train harder, your muscle just wanted to pop. But here's my question. When you were, doing all the cardio and dieting really, really hard, and your body just wasn't its most impressive version of itself. Was that like really hard for you mentally? Like, tell me the mental struggle that you faced when you were going through that.
Absolutely. So I'll take it back to 2021 when I had to pull out of the Olympia. So it was Wednesday, and I forgot who was it? George, when he passed away, and we got word of that. And so I looked at my coach, and I was just like, is this a sign that we need to pull out right now? And so I remember making the video, posting it, saying like, hey guys, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to be able to partake in this year's Olympia. And still to this day, I won't look at that video. It just brings up too many emotions. So going back to that and going back to what I mentioned about the feeling of having that conditioning, it was hard. It was really, really hard. And mentally, because we all know that bodybuilding is more mental than it is physical. And so knowing that I wasn't able to finish my race, because I was always taught to finish whatever you started. So knowing that I wasn't able to finish that one race, especially my very first Olympia, I know it hit hard. So just knowing then that kind of flip the script, because a lot of people like, Ashley, like, you choosing your health is setting an example for others to say, hey, if we're having these same issues, take a step back. The stage is always going to be there. Our bodies are not always going to be here. So just having the support of everyone, especially on Instagram and, my teammates at the time, it was perfect. So I kind of just had to step out of that and say, Ashley, it's okay. The stage is going to be there. Get healthy again, and then go forth with whatever is next for you. And I'm so glad I did that. Same thing with taking a year off for this 2023 growing into women's bodybuilding. I knew mentally this was going to be a whole nother feat for me. So being able to take on this new task and being able to be healthy with it, I had to go ahead and take that year off. So having a coach like Vu to say, yeah, go for it. Let's go. Let's take time off, enjoy what you need to enjoy for a little bit. And then we'll hit the ground running in 2024. So it was hard. It was hard. And I think there are still moments that I kind of step back and say, am I ready for this? Am I built for this? But like I said, I have to think like a champion. I have to already be that champion in my mind in order to step up with Shaw, Yayo, and everyone else. So it's just like, if you can't believe it in yourself, no one else will. No one else will. It's bodybuilding has taught me a lot mentally more than it has physically, even though yes, it's showing me that, hey, girl, you can grow, and I want to keep growing. But mentally for me, that's the game changer. That's been the blessing of it all.
There's a lot of potentially new athletes that are watching you, and that's an amazing message that you just said. A lot of younger athletes are not necessarily age-wise, but starting out in their careers, they might not recognize certain symptoms or signs that they're needing to take a break or there's something wrong. What were some symptoms that you were feeling that brought you to out and taking a year off? You mentioned metabolic damage. But what were some of those symptoms?
Yeah, it is so weird because going back, I feel like the adrenaline of me going into my first Olympia, it's almost like blinders were on me and I couldn't even see it or actually feel it. I was just like, let's go. I'm finishing this race regardless, whatever. And I think what I was missing was just looking at my physique. My physique was like, red flag, look at me. I'm not responding. And I just kept going thinking like, no, you can keep pushing. Because again, mentally, that's who I am. I'm always going to finish what I start. So with all of that going on, I wasn't really able to feel the symptoms of anything, but going back to like my blood results and everything, like liver was down, kidney was down, just out of whack. And so I'm glad that I did step away when I did, because like I said, who knows what the outcome would have been if I had pushed that. So just listen to your body, having a coach that hopefully is asking you to get blood work and you're having great communication with your, primary doctor who understands like, hey, this is the level that a bodybuilder that I'm at. These are the things that I'm taking. Can you help me and walk me through this journey? And hopefully open enough to say, okay, let's go together on this journey. So I've just been blessed to have the people around me to guide me in the best way, in the healthiest way. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Because we get so used to like during that time feeling bad, right? Like it's hard. Right. So it is great to have a coach and have people around you that can recognize and say, like, hey, let's take a break. Let's put on the
What are normal crappy prep, feelings that we all experience, and what is something that needs to be looked at differently?
Yeah. And I think one of the points that I'd like to make is I think when I competed, we didn't have the pressures as far as like with the striations or any of that going on in rear ends. Yeah. Like that women wanted to be tight.
Yeah.
That just didn't, exist. And people, they look at pictures of me in 2002, 2003, and 2004. Well, I first started competing in the mid 80s. So the body that I had, and I made this comment last time, is that it was very different. I did not have striations in my rear end in the 90s at all. As I matured in 2002, 2003. So I think that athletes out there, you have to be authentic to who you are. Yes. And if you have a structure that, you're just not, that's not what you're going to look like.
Yes.
By doing more cardio, eating less, or it's not going to happen.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yep. Literally. And I think that is a misconception, and it's unfortunate. And I sometimes wish I was in the era that you were in, because I'm like, social media has completely like filtered our minds. And I'm like, I call this the Instagram bodybuilding era, because this is truly what you see on Instagram of like, oh, I have to have this. I have to have this. Ooh, are you doing the necessary to have that? Or are you doing too much to try to have that? So it's just like people aren't truly learning themselves. They're not listening to their coaches. They're not taking the time off. They're not trying to be healthy to get that look. And I think that it's a shame. It's a shame, because it's giving a false narrative to what bodybuilding could be or should be, you know? So yeah.
Right. And you have to maintain your weight. Yeah, go ahead, Camille. I'm sorry.
I just said Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes
Amen. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And you have to really plan. Like in the off season, you can't carry all that extra weight and expect. So you have to, in the off season, take care of your off season diet so that you can be at your very best, and you can diet effectively and hard but smart for 20 weeks or 16 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever that is. But
absolutely.
And I think that's can be part of the problem.
Most definitely. Most definitely agree with you. I agree.
Hey, Ashley, I have another question for you. You at last year's Olympia, what was your feedback to improve for this coming Olympia?
Yeah. So basically, like I said, they made the decision. They said you could do both. If I wanted to do women's physique, I would have to kind of change my training and hold back a little bit. Going into, I actually give you the feedback that Tyler gave me for New York. He did say like, hey, don't change anything. However, if I wanted to be super nitpicky, I will go ahead and try to have a little bit more density in your back. And I said, say less. I love a good back day. So, so we did that.
I want a nitpick.
I won't nitpick, but that's what I want, because again, I know on this next level, like I said, Arizona is going to be a sneak peek of what Olympia is going to be. So the judges are going to have a hard time picking the winner for that show, because again, we are all going to bring it, and it's literally going to be apples to oranges to grapes to pears. It's going to be what fruit do you want for the day. So being able to nitpick and having Tyler say, hey, do this, of course I'm going to listen, because I know at the Olympia he's going to look to see, okay, I told her in May you need to roll that back. So I mean look at this woman. I mean, come on.
Well, let's take a look at this.
You guys actually look so similar,
right?
Yeah, you guys look similar.
Nutty. It's like crazy. You two are so, I mean, and then we got the back too. I mean, we're gonna go back to that, but I want to. Yeah, we're gonna bring up the back.
And, and in New York, you beat Lavina.
Yes.
Barrows.
Yes.
So how was that? Like
impressive.
The feelings on that?
Really fast. So here you are with Andrea.
Yeah.
But Lenda, do you want to pull up her and Lavina right now?
Yeah, pull up her and Lavina, because you know, I know you're in New York, you want to qualify for the Olympia. You know, you guys do check-ins. You see Lavina at the check-in with her outfit on or whatever. You're like, oh my God. And then you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Kind of like size each other up and everything.
Right. I mean, we all do it. We all do it.
And I know when I looked at her last week, and I said, well, you know, somebody's new, and I looked at her back. I said, my God, look at her back development. So I had to go pull up New York. I'm like, now who did Ashley beat? You know, and then I said it beat her. I said, oh my.
But put that picture back up there. When
I'm gonna do the back shot of them. I was just gonna
do the back and then go back to the front. But all right. And in the comments, D-Dash said Andrea and Ashley will be rivalry for years to come. I love it. Same thing.
My computer's being sticky. I'm so sorry. Okay, here's the back.
Yeah.
Man.
The difference, but Ashley has such a smaller waist, like from the front shot. Yeah. That's what Lavina looked
has a longer. Lavina has a longer waist.
And her sitting next to you, your waist is just like you can't help but not look at that.
Thank you. Yeah.
So how were you feeling? How were you feeling? You know what I mean? Like after prejudging, did you feel like?
So a lot of people are like, Ash, like, hey, you did well. I'm like, no, it's not over till, they call the winner, and everybody's like, it's okay. And I'm like, no, like, even with Vu, he's always telling me like, hey, let's finish it out. Let's see what they say. So we had an idea, but again, I'm never going to go into a show confident or cocky and say, oh, we got no, I'm going to be confident. There's
You
a
never want
difference.
to jinx it.
Exactly. Because like I said, you don't know what you're looking for. Do I know she's bigger? Absolutely. But do I know what I bring as well? Absolutely. And fortunately, the judges liked what I brought. I mean, I think she is a gorgeous woman, a gorgeous women's bodybuilder. And I know she's going to bring it even more for Olympia and also for Rising as well. So
you have more going on here in the front. You totally beat her in the front, like your lines and pops and a lot more detail.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I love it. Keep it coming. Like I said, I'm writing all this down so I can keep everything just moving along.
I'm not trying to not to give your competition like an edge or anything, but I do think that her structure would have looked a little bit more similar to yours if she would have been posing more like you. It looks to me like you're tapped into your lats a little bit more in your front double bicep, which really helps your V taper.
Yes.
You're cranking your hip flexors back a little bit, and you're leaning into your legs, and the artistry of the way that you're performing that pose, I think, is really helping you in the way you have your bottom sitting on your waist. The details with you is really what's giving you the edge, in addition to obviously your awesome structure. But I do think that she could have helped herself out if she would have been more closely posing the way you are, And
I'm sure her team has probably looked over, photos and have probably.
We all do that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So like I said, that's why I'm so excited to see what she's going to bring, what everyone's going to bring, especially those who have already qualified for the Olympia, because I mean, the girls coming up already for the upcoming shows, I'm seeing like little snippets of, what they're posting on Instagram. I'm like, whoo, this is going to be a damn good Olympia. And I'm so happy for it. So happy to be a part of it.
I have
Jake
another
gives
question.
away some great money at the Rising Phoenix, so you're gonna have a blast.
Ashley and Lenda, you guys could both answer this. So this is coming from a bikini girl. Our suits are always super sparkly and lots of rhinestones. And Ashley, in your figure picture, you had a really sparkly suit on. But why is it that women bodybuilders have a more matted suit versus a super sparkly suit?
So pre-judging, we always have to have, just like you said, the solid color, usually no bedazzle is what I like to call it. And then for finals, that's when we can get all sparkly and get as much shine on our suits as we want. So usually for pre-judging, you'll see all of us with just the solid color. So yeah.
Oh, okay. And then
that's a requirement. We can't.
And then you can't. So and for the finals, you have a different suit that's all blinged out and sparkly.
Whatever we want. Yeah, whatever we can pick whatever color we want. It's just for prejudging, it has to be solid. And then finals. Yeah. So when I was talking to my suit maker, I was like, okay, so this year we got to have 2 suits. She was like, let's go. So, yeah.
Some things remain the same, huh? Like maybe they don't want the suit to be too distracting. They want to be able to see the muscle without too much distraction.
Which I appreciate.
You used to couldn't wear jewelry.
Really?
They just I couldn't wear earrings, no jewelry.
Crazy.
Yeah, that is.
So we have some pictures of you and Angela Yo.
All right, let's see. Okay. Do you want to see the front or the back, Lenda?
Let's look at front.
Okay.
Yeah, let's look at
front. All right. Are you ready? Have you done this, Ashley? Have you taken a look at you two?
No.
Well, if you haven't, we are here for you.
I love it. Listen, I love her. The routine she did last year for Olympia, I was like, yes, ma'am. I feel the emotions. I love every bit of it. I love her. Love her.
Yes, I do too. Yeah. Angela Yo, she just everything she needs to do, she does it, from conditioning to her training to her presentation, to her hair, to her nails, and that's what it should be. When I'm sitting there in the audience looking at the Olympia, I want to see everybody giving me a great presentation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can tell she's authentic. Like she's presenting, like you said, her. She's not trying to change to fit any other box. She is truly fitting her personality on that stage. And I'm like, go for it, girl. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Do we have a picture? Do we have a picture of Ashley from the last Olympia to the New York Pro?
From the last I don't think we have that, but we do have her in figure versus
I do believe that photo.
We can look at that.
I know. Yeah, I don't think we put that up.
Okay.
So then, actually, how have you been changing since Olympia? Like your physique wise?
Yeah. So with New York Pro going into this year's Olympia, is that what you're asking?
From last Olympia, from your first bodybuilding Olympia to from New York Pro, what changes came about?
So, like I said, the last time I was on stage at the O was 2022 in women's physique. So, after taking 2023 off in order to grow, that year was the true change for me. And then 2024 New York Pro, here we are. So
yes, this is her first bodybuilding.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you were there last year, but okay, never mind.
Well, there's a spectator, but yeah.
This is so cool. This is so cool. You know, what's really neat is think about all the athletes competing in the Olympia, okay? And your story is a unique story that it's a rare phenomenon for somebody to have gone through the type of transformation that you've gone through. I can't even think of anyone else who has been. Can you think of anyone, Lenda? I'm like trying to rack my brain.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anyone who's quite had the journey that you have had. Do you know what I mean? Like, and there's something so.
I agree.
There's something so magical about that. It's you like going into the Olympia, knowing that you have this like special, unique story, and that is always fun when you're like, there's something like so unique and so special about you going into this supreme contest that there's, that it's just amazing. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah. I always joke with Vu about doing fitness because that's always been my dream. So don't be surprised if I put bodybuilding up. I'm going into another. Literally, I was like, I have to use my gymnastics background a little bit more. And as you saw in the video of guest posing with Adela, I wanted to honor the fitness girls by doing something I know I can't do on the Olympia stage, obviously, which is flip. So I said, let's go ahead and do that at a fitness show. And
you should.
And I was like, I told Adela, I was like, is it okay if I do it? She was like, please. And I said, okay. You gave the green light, so here we go.
How hard did it be for you to do that with so much muscle?
Oh, it was a little different. My wrist said, baby girl, a little bit more weight. So, I definitely practiced my back handspring before doing this routine. And it's so crazy because there's a phrase that says you can take the gymnast out of gymnastics, but never the gymnastics out of the gymnast. And so being able to still flip after so many years, I'm just like, oh my goodness. So it felt so good. And again, it just kept me even more eager to see what comes of the future. Who knows? I may drop to, fitness and see what I could do there. But I love being able to do different things, taking risks, and just setting a new bar.
Wow, look at that.
Not everybody can do that. In fact, I don't think anyone can.
It's harder and harder as you gain more muscle. Like gymnasts are like, you have to be very like small and compact in order to perform the jumps and the flips.
Absolutely.
So when you start putting more muscle on your body, it's, it's tighter. It's harder to do splits. It's harder to do flips. It's harder to have power and get air time when you're doing your flips. So it does become more challenging. But I will say this, if you don't do fitness, it is very entertaining when you see a beautiful muscular bodybuilder doing gymnastics moves. I mean, that it's for entertainment purposes. I think it's going to make Olympia very exciting.
Well, I can't.
Yes. So they have a rule then. You cannot do flips, but you can do like a handstand or something. Like if you're a bodybuilder,
I know that. Thank you, Lenda. I didn't know that.
You cannot do flips.
Exactly. And I think that's what's so special about guest posing. We get to do the things that we know we technically can't do in the real shows. So that's why, again, I wanted to just do something different, but also honor the fitness category as well.
Because she was guest posing there.
Yeah.
Jake doesn't want any broken necks on the stage.
None, right? No, he's like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that.
He's like, no, ladies, no, gentlemen, we don't want any broken
last year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I love that they want to make a distinction between each of the divisions.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like they want bikini competitors to stay within bikini, pose like bikini, and then with figure and then going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's
every year they're starting to really make the line even more clear. And I'm like,
yes,
what needs to happen?
That's great.
As the amateur come up and striving for that professional card, they're trying to see what they need to get up to. So I think it's good that the judges are doing their part. So
yes. So how many weeks are we out from the Rising Phoenix? It's August 24th, right?
God, are we 9? I think 9.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah. And then after that, I think 6 weeks from
the Olympia.
So it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, because I thought about that, guys, as I was reaching in the refrigerator to eat something. I said,
you got to get ready too, Lenda. You got to get all trophies.
Exactly.
Girl,
only peanut butter. Okay, I want peanut butter.
Yeah. Only thing that slowed me down.
Lenda, put down the peanut butter.
If I have to get on stage under bright lights, that will make you happy. But right now, there's nothing.
Nothing.
That's not for me.
Get the natural unsalted peanut butter and you won't be tempted to eat the whole jar.
There you go.
Okay.
This is so disgusting. Like, Camille, that's her strategy. She just tells her house a nasty
yucky one. Get the yucky one.
Okay.
I love it.
That's hilarious. So we're gonna I'm gonna give you the last word, Ashley, and let you tell us tell us what we're gonna see at the Rising Phoenix going into the Olympia.
Yes, you are going to see just the raw, authentic athleticism that I feel I love to present to you guys. I want to show you guys and continue to show you guys my story of who I am growing up from figure to physique to women's bodybuilding. And like I said before, just changing the narrative that we as women's bodybuilder, yes, we are the most muscular out of the divisions, but we are such beautiful individuals, especially inside out. So hopefully you all will be able to see all of that on stage. And thank you for all of your support from figure till present day. This is just the beginning.
Wow.
Oh, good job.
Y'all hear that, guys? Yeah, they hear that. Somebody said, Ashley, you are limitless.
I love it.
Let's go, Ashley. Miss Ivy Berry. Ashley Jones. All right, guys.
In there.
Yeah. So to all of you out there, thank you for joining this conversation. And we're waiting to see you, Ashley Jones.
Thank you.
All right, guys.